That Was Yesterday podcast is brought to you by Define Mind and Body Wellness, my wellness center here in Glastonbury, Connecticut, where we specialize in holistic services to help shortcut the process so that you can see results fast, but learn to do it in a habitual way. So many of the topics we talk about are part of the program that our clients receive, except they get much more in-depth detail. Also, my workbook of the 10-week program to lose and never look back, which is only available to our patients at Define. If you are interested in holistic body fat spot reduction, or our pod to increase your metabolism, or our cold plunge, or our sauna, which is the best sauna in the world, that I promise you. I know that sounds biased, but you'll see for yourself. Please go to definewellnesscenter.com. You will be prompted to put your information in, and make sure to mention podcast when you do, as you will be eligible for a bigger discount on our introductory services because you are a listener. Appreciate you. Have a great day and enjoy today's podcast.
What's up and welcome to the 5-day food noise fix challenge. This is Joe Carabasi and I am super excited to take you on this journey. My background as a coach for 20 years and hypnotist has been such where I've developed practical tips that have worked for many people of all different backgrounds and lifestyles and roles and responsibilities. And what I've realized, though, is it's not just the practical habits and tips and strategy. All that does matter. But it's the internal shift. It's the internal change. It's really where everything, whereas lasting change goes. It's where it comes from. And so this is going to be a really cool challenge for you to just gain back control, and one of the things that I want you to just recognize throughout this entire process is that you're human, and that means you're a messy human. And I'm not like just talking crap to you. Like, I am on the same exact level we all are. We are all imperfect beings, which means you're going to slip up at times. It's okay. Like, that's going to happen. It's not about being perfect. And so throughout this process, realize that if you're experiencing food noise right now, by the way, it's very common. Like, this is something that so many of us go through. In particular, like for some people, it's when you're looking to make a change, you want to, start the journey of losing weight. For others, they, might be on a GL1P and are afraid that what happens when they get off of it, or maybe they are off it and then the food noise is up, or that could, insert any other diet or plan. Food noise can get loud when transformation is happening. And food noise can also get loud when you find yourself in a period of life where things are stressful. And that is one of the things that you're going to find throughout this process as well. We do a lot of nervous system resets. So you got to give yourself grace. And you also got to realize that this is not a magic trick. This is a solution. And for that, it's a process, right? You can't just snap your fingers and listen to one thing or do one thing once and expect there to be change, particularly if this has been something that has been an issue in your past. So it's important to have that and realize that the fact that it is a process means you don't have to focus on the outcome, and you can just focus on the process, which means all you have to do is put in the intention and the effort. So one of the things that, as we explore this idea of food noise, it's important for you to understand is that, as I mentioned earlier, like, there's nothing inherently wrong with you. Like, this is something you can absolutely overcome, and you're a lot closer than you think. All we're really doing is just changing the signal. Food noise is just a constant mental chatter. When should I eat? What should I eat? Why? And then there's the shame of, why am I thinking about food? And it just, as you know, can get annoying, for lack of a better word. And oftentimes it's not hunger. It's mental and emotional signaling. And it sure as hell is not a lack of willpower. Like, I can guarantee you, if I was talking to you and you told me about all the things you do every day, it would be quite obvious you don't lack willpower. And it might feel as if you're out of control, but that's one of the things that we're going to help you conquer back. Oftentimes, food noise is driven by stress, nervous system overload, sometimes habits, and emotions. It's not so much calories. And oftentimes when you are dieting harder, it can make the food noise louder. Your brain is like trying to protect you. And so often, again, all this stuff is all things that can be learned with just a little bit of effort and intention. Unfortunately, so many of us just learn the wrong pattern. And if you develop a relationship with food as such that it is comfort at an early age, what else would you expect if you never unlearned that when life gets hard, you're going to seek comfort and control in food? That's a completely normal thing. So, if you find yourself snacking when you're not hungry, up to this point, if you felt like you're out of control, or you felt the guilt or shame, or if you feel like, a lot of people will tell me like they feel like they're good all day, and then at night they lose control, or they're good all week, and then at weekends they lose control. Well, it just means that your brain is running old programs, and programs can be updated. When the brain feels safe, food noise naturally quiets. You don't need another diet, that is for sure. All right. So basically, the roadmap here. This challenge follows my 3-phase process. Right. Phase 1 is we got to lower the noise. When food noise is loud, everything feels urgent, and urgency oftentimes removes choice. So we've got to calm the system first. The next phase, we decode the trigger. So like once your noise is lower, now you can start to identify patterns. And this isn't about fixing anything. It's just about understanding. And the final part is installing the new default. We've picked up, and if you're listening to this, in particular with food noise, you picked up some sort of learned behavior, often subconscious, at some point in your life, likely early on. And all we got to do is just upload a new software, so to speak. Just like, think of it like quite literally like a computer program. We are just updating the software. And it's simple, and this is going to help so that you don't have to constantly think about it. The whole idea is not to have to think about it all the time, right? We want to lower food noise. But when you get back control, that's just a natural byproduct. And unfortunately, most people only try the last stop. They only try to say, okay, this year's going to be different. This is how I'm, like, they just all of a sudden go from 0 to 60, right? Without ever taking the time to figure out, well, where is this coming from in the first place? And what is the root of these patterns? And why am I constantly thinking about this stuff, right? So that's oftentimes why the intention and New Year's resolutions for, when you're skipping the process, that's why those things tend to not last. So having worked with literally thousands of people in this situation, over time I've created this process and just kept using it and adapting it and evolving it. And so that's why I created the 5-day challenge, to just have something that's short, practical, and honestly, it's designed in mind so that you don't need to spend a lot of time. That's the whole idea. But look, there has to be some time, right? If you don't, how could you expect to not put any effort in and have a long-term change? And again, this is about long-term change. So if it is something where you're hoping, like, if I could hear one thing once, or if I can do one thing once, this program's not for you, right? But again, if you have the effort, you will be more than fine. That I can promise. Look, every day is going to include a simple focus, one doable action, and a mindset/hypnosis-based tool to help calm the food noise and to help create this lasting change we're talking about. And for those of you guys who might be new to hypnosis, it's important to understand is that in hypnosis, you are in full control. Literally all hypnosis means, it's like a fancy word for deep state of relaxation. And when you are in a deep state of relaxation, your brain enters what's called theta waves. And in those waves, your subconscious brain in particular, is more responsive and receptive. And your subconscious is where you carry the pain and really your potential, but the pain from your past. And often that's what weighs us down so much. And so when we don't get into those deep levels of sort of relaxation, the conscious mind takes over. And the conscious mind is constantly finding ways to filter, to distract, to avoid, to worsen, to get anxious, right? And all of those are built off of the pain from the subconscious. So really, hypnosis is just a way of just quieting that down. But recognize you will be in full control, and they will be light hypnoses. We're just going to do some simple progressive relaxation techniques, and then going to basically help you on this journey, because really that's all it is. I'm just guiding you. That's all it is. And in hypnosis, you will never do or say anything you don't want to do or say. And so in any event, that's what you'll be getting every day. I'll be posting daily in the Food Noise discussion inside the school app. And Monday at 1 o'clock, Wednesday at 1 o'clock, and Friday at 4 o'clock, I'll be doing lives. All right. And now, if you can't make it live, that's okay. All live recordings and audios will be provided in the school platform under the Food Noise. So if you go to Classrooms in the school app, and then Food Noise Fix Challenge is where you'll find all the resources. And that will populate each day. So you'll get the additional day the night before, essentially. And so over the course of the next week, you're going to get access to the full site as well as me. So definitely take a look around under Classroom. There's a lot of other good stuff, from like First Step Fitness, 5-minute workouts anybody could do with no equipment. I don't care what your fitness level is, to more follow along, still beginner-based workouts, but really for all levels. And then there's a ton of other nutrition information and everything else. And I highly recommend use me as a resource. I've done this for a long time now, and I can tell you there is not going to be a problem that you're facing, perhaps a thought, a self-sabotage, a limiting belief that you are facing, that you're dealing with, that we cannot help you overcome. But I'm not a mind reader. You have to communicate. And so every day we're going to have those sort of posts inside the school app. So definitely communicate and let us know. I'm here to help. So some things that you can kind of, as you look ahead for this next week, I want you to recognize that it's a process, right? And just focus on each day at a time. But recognize overall, when Food Noise gets quiet, weight loss, the fat loss, the changes that you want to see, those start to become a side effect. And so it no longer feels like a battle. Over the next week, you'll find less thinking, obsessing about food. There'll be fewer cravings. You'll start to feel more control. You'll start to feel more calmer and clearer. And of course, all of us are at different points, right? There's a spectrum of transformation, and each of us are on our own journeys within that. And so, the experience will always be different. But again, that's why I'm here, to be accessible, so I can make sure to help you navigate the different challenges that arise. And what we're doing here over the next week, it's the beginning, all right? Long-term change. It comes from moving through all three phases, and it does so in a way that the idea is that it's not nothing is ever a one and done thing, right? Think about it like fitness. Now, you may or may not be working out currently or regularly, but you could at least agree that it's hard to argue that if you exercise daily, you will be you'll be healthier, right? A lot of people can agree with that statement. Or exercise regularly even, you will be healthier. Yet, we tend to just completely avoid the mind and the emotional being. Where those parts are actually, I would argue, need more fitness, if you will, than the physical body. When I say fitness, I'm not saying like the physical fitness makes you feel good. Yes, that is a hormonal response. Yes, you're going to relieve tension. But I'm talking more particular about mental fitness. It's the emotional and the mental and those parts of you that there needs to be attention on, awareness of, so that you can retain control. And so I always do my best to encourage everybody, as I do for myself, by the way, to say, look, yes, we got to take care of our physical body, but we also have to take time to deal with our internal being as well. So once more, as we move through this challenge, don't look for perfection. Look for small, subtle differences. Again, you might notice such cravings start to pass. You might find yourself pausing before eating something. And you might just overall feel calmer around food and find yourself thinking less and less about it. And all these shifts are just signs that you're changing. And by the way, Another sign that you could be changing is self-sabotage, or oftentimes what I call ANTs, automatic negative thoughts. Reasons why you can't, shouldn't, won't, why now's not a good time, this, that, the other thing. And when those get loud, that shows you that you're exactly where you need to be. And this challenge will help you navigate that. Nothing needs to be forced. And just know, if you really do want this, you can't fail. You just need to show up with the intention of taking back control and do your best. That's all you need. See you inside.